because Oke, selamat sore dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Pertama-tama, saya ingin mengucapkan selamat datang kepada Bapak Ibu Saudara sekalian yang telah hadir pada acara webinar kali ini. Namun sebelumnya, perkenalkan nama saya Jose Putra Cipta Raharja selaku moderator yang akan memandu jalannya webinar pada kali ini. Nah, sebelum kita lanjut ke topik pembahasan yang lebih dalam, saya ingin bertanya nih, pernah nggak sih Bapak Ibu Saudara sekalian berkepikiran untuk melakukan studi lanjut di luar negeri, seperti Kanada? Namun, Bapak Ibu Saudara sekalian masih bingung nih. Pertama, bagaimana sih cara mendaftar masuknya? Atau mungkin poin kedua, hal-hal apa aja sih yang harus kita siapin supaya kita bisa melakukan studi lanjut tersebut? Atau mungkin poin ketiga. Nah, biasanya nih, poin ketiga ini merupakan poin yang paling banyak ditanyai oleh Bapak Ibu Saudara sekalian, yaitu berapa sih biaya yang dibutuhkan untuk melakukan studi lanjut tersebut? Nah, maka daripada itu, untuk menjawab semua pertanyaan tersebut, pada kesempatan kali ini, Olse Canisius mengadakan acara EduFair dan bekerjasama dengan University of British Columbia atau UBC untuk menjawab semua pertanyaan tersebut. Nah, pembicara kita pada kali ini merupakan Associate International Recruiter and Advisor di Asia dan Eropa, yaitu Ibu Anindita Mahmud. Tanpa berlama-lama lagi, mari langsung saja kita panggil pembicara kita, yaitu Ibu Anindita Mahmud. Kepada Ibu, saya persilahkan.
Hello, thank you so much, Jose. And hello, everybody at Canisius College. My name is Dita, and I'm an Associate International Student Recruiter and Advisor from UBC. I'll be sharing my screen shortly so that we can get along with our presentation, but I just really want to thank everyone for taking the time to learn more about UBC and what it would be like to study in Canada. Right. So I hope that everyone can see my screen. And so as I go through the presentation today, I want you to think about what your university experience here could look like. I'll start by sharing an overview about UBC, explore our two main campuses, talk about all the opportunities that you have offered to you, as well as covering the steps and process of how to apply, and of course, how much it's going to cost. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the University of British Columbia, we are a large public institution located in Canada. There are 1,000,001 reasons to choose UBC, but if I were to narrow it down to my top 3 reasons, this would be it. So at UBC, we are proud of the academic achievements of our professors, instructors, and our students. So know by choosing to come to UBC, you will be greeted by a world-class education across a wide range of programs and disciplines that maybe you've never heard of before. Second, the ideal location of our campuses makes for the perfect study destination, regardless of who you are and where you come from. We'll dive a little bit more into that as we go through the presentation. And lastly, the active learning opportunities that will be presented to you throughout your years at UBC. So I know a lot of you are interested in getting work experience, maybe traveling abroad, and maybe getting involved in research opportunities or participating in student clubs. These are all things that you could do here at UBC, and they will end up being the highlights of your degree. So as I mentioned earlier, one thing that you can certainly expect when you come to UBC is that you'll have access to a world-class education of top professors and instructors who are experts in their area of study. About 98% of our full-time professors have PhDs, and you can feel confident that you're learning from the best of the best. With over 25,000 universities in the world, UBC's recognition and ranking stands as being one of the top 40 research institutions globally, and in the top 20 for public research institutions. Times Higher Education has also recognized UBC to be a leader in sustainable development in the fight to combat climate change. One question that I tend to get a lot from students is this: which programs is UBC known for? What are you famous for? And for me, that's a really tough question to answer. So globally, UBC is well known to have excellent programs in the sciences and STEM fields, but as you can see, we're also more than that. We've been ranked within the top 20 worldwide for multiple areas, including English language and literature, environmental sciences, psychology, agriculture, and so forth. If any of these programs are of interest to you, then maybe you're looking at the right place. While rankings are great for recognizing UBC's strengths, they don't always give you the full picture of what your experience could look like. If being in an internationally minded community, building connections with people from all over the world, and understanding different backgrounds and diverse perspectives is something that's important to you, then UBC would be the perfect fit. So of all the things that we've accomplished, the one thing that we're most proud of at UBC is that we're the most international university in North America. So this is thanks to our multicultural community of the best and brightest students, just like you, who bring new energy and perspectives to UBC every year. So we're proud of our achievements as they recognize that we're making strides with social change, but know that when you come and join UBC, our achievements become your achievements as well. So beyond academic excellence, UBC's ideal locations also makes for the perfect place to study. So when we tell people that UBC is based in Canada, one of the biggest responses we get is, oh, Canada, that's really far. Well, from Jakarta, it's actually not too far. So it takes 2 flights to go directly to Vancouver, and you can stop by, Taiwan or Hong Kong or Japan. And it's a short flight away that will take you straight to Kelowna, which is our second campus. And another response is people say, oh, Canada, it's too cold. So I would say that that's only partially true. So Vancouver has a mild climate. It's never too warm. It's never too cold. And Kelowna leans closer to interior BC. So you get more of the full 4 seasons over there. People say that Canadians are very polite. They're very kind. And I can agree with that for sure. A lot of the people here are very respectful and as a nation, very multicultural. So everyone from all over the world is very welcome here. And something else that I usually get is that Canadians love hockey, which I guess is somewhat true as well. So something to note about Canada is that we're consistently ranked as one of the best places in the world to live. We were ranked #1 for quality of life. And Canadians also value a very high standard of living, which makes it a great place to study. In Canada, education, and especially higher education, is highly valued, and the government invests heavily in ensuring that you have access to learning, so you know that the quality of education you're receiving is very high. It's also a great place to study because students who come to UBC or come to Canada, after they complete their degree, they can stay in Canada and work with a post-graduation work permit. So you can stay here for up to 3 years after you graduate to keep getting work experience. And you can decide later on if you want to stay in Canada, you can apply for permanent residence, or of course you can move back home or move somewhere else. But your degree will be recognized internationally. So people ask, okay, UBC, University of British Columbia, where is British Columbia? So it is a beautiful province here in Canada. It's well known around the world for having a vibrant and again, international population and for breathtaking landscapes as well. We've got beaches, we've got mountains, lakes, lots of activities for you to do that surround nature. And we've also got a really thriving, innovative and entrepreneurial economy. So living in BC is like having the best of both worlds. You get the city feel and you also get the beautiful nature. So more specifically, we're located in the Pacific West Coast of Canada. So if you're familiar with Seattle or California, we're on the West Coast and our weather is pretty close to what Seattle would be usually. So it's not too cold or too warm. And we're about a 3-hour drive from Seattle. So that's basically where we're based. Our main campus is in Vancouver. Of all the cities in Canada, Vancouver is the 3rd largest. We have about 2.6 million people. It's fairly large for Canada, but I know compared to Jakarta, that's nothing. So Vancouver is consistently ranked in the top 3 of the world's most livable cities, huge international community. So you'll find people from all over the world, and you'll also find food from all over the world, which is always something good. So the Vancouver campus is home to approximately 45,000 undergraduate students. It's a self-contained campus community, and it's almost like a city of its own. So you get the 13 student residences, you get state-of-the-art facilities. We even have a police station, a hospital, museums, sports fields, restaurants, theaters. All of this is on campus. So if you're interested in living in a city that has equal balance of city life with serene natural parks, then UBC Vancouver is a great fit. So if the size of the UBC Vancouver campus seems a little bit too big and you'd rather go to a smaller or more mid-sized university with a close-knit community feel, then our UBC Okanagan campus would probably be a better fit for you. It's a 4-hour drive from Vancouver or a 1-hour flight from our international airport. So Kelowna is ranked among the top 3 cities in Canada for quality of life. It's home to a thriving tech industry, has a net worth of $1 billion, and the city of Kelowna has a population of just under 200,000 people. So it's a lot smaller than Vancouver, but it is one of the fastest growing cities, and it offers some of the best weather in Canada. So you get all 4 seasons here, and there's a lot of really fresh fruits here. There's tons of lakes. You get cherry blossoms in the springtime, the snow in the wintertime, and you get to see the leaves change color in the fall time. So it's a really beautiful place to study and live. So again, if you prefer a mid-sized campus, then UBC Okanagan would be the perfect option for you. And it's home to about 9,000 undergraduate students. It's very new, so it opened in 2005, and it has a lot of smaller classes. So some people say, you know, what's the difference between UBC Vancouver and UBC Okanagan? UBC Okanagan is a lot smaller, it's more close-knit, and UBC Vancouver is much larger in size. So as you can see, while both campuses are UBC, you'll be able to attend the campus that has the best fit for you. So you can choose which one fits you best. And in some cases, the program is also based in different campuses too. So you can find more information about that on our website. So at UBC, we truly believe that learning should not only happen in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. So active and experiential learning opportunities like getting involved with research, student clubs, work opportunities, maybe exploring the world. These are all things that you can do within your studies at UBC. They'll also become highlights of your degree. So I'm not going to touch on everything today, but maybe I'll touch on research and work experience and clubs. So as a research-focused university, your UBC professors are also doing research of their own. They're also great mentors to have if you want to pursue master's degrees one day. And they're always, coming up with new things too. So you can always participate in their research. A couple years ago, for example, we also had a student of ours named Michelle, who actually discovered 4 new planets. This was when she was only 22, I think. So not that much older than you guys actually, but during her studies at UBC, she was able to find 4 new planets. And then now she's doing a PhD and she's discovered 17 planets in total. So these are lots of really great things that our students are doing, and they're doing, during their studies as well. So you don't have to wait until after you graduate to get involved with research, but you can do that while you're a student as well. So big reasons why students want to go to university. I know a lot of your parents are probably pressuring you as well. You're also thinking about what do I want to do when I grow up? And that's how you end up deciding which university you want to go to. So a career after graduation is definitely important. And here at UBC, you'll have opportunities to get a head start in your career by participating in our cooperative education program or co-op. So co-op is basically how we call paid full-time work experience. And it's similar to internships, except they are all paid and they're all relevant to your degree, and they are integrated within your studies. So maybe a couple terms you're going to be studying full-time, and then when you do co-op, you'll be able to work full-time, and then after that you can come back and study, work full-time again, and then it's really up to you how you want to do it. But our UBC faculties have their own offices to help you with co-op, so you're not going out there and finding jobs on your own, but we have people to help you find those positions. So these are some of the companies that our students have worked at, and the list just keeps growing every year. All right, so across Vancouver and the Okanagan campuses, UBC has over 360 student clubs to choose from. So it's not all about studying all the time. We want you to have a balanced life. So we have great, vibrant campus community, and our students are able to pursue their passions through their student-run clubs. So we have social clubs, cultural clubs, academic clubs, clubs based on hobbies, lots of different things that you can get involved in. You can also start your own club if you can't find the one that's perfect for you. So we also have Indonesian associations on both of our campuses. Gisao is the one that's located in our Vancouver campus, and Aisoto is the one that's located in our Okanagan campus. I have a short video so you guys can see what our students are up to during this time. So now that we've covered some of the extracurricular highlights of your UBC degree, let's talk about what you can study. So as a world-class and large public institutions, we offer over 261 undergraduate majors within 41 degree programs, or I guess 42 now. And there's endless possibilities for you to also combine your majors with your minors, concentrations within different areas. So you get to really create a degree that fits your interests and your goals. So once you decide to apply to UBC, and as a side note, that would make me super happy. But if you do decide to apply, these are the general steps to take in order for you to submit your application. So first, you'll want to choose the campus and the degree that you'd like to study. So you're applying for your degree program. So in case that, if you have any questions about that, that's usually like a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Fine Arts. And then later on, you can choose if you want to do specifically chemistry or sociology or psychology. These are things you choose later. But first, you choose the degree program. Next, you'll have to apply online, and you can take a look at our website at u.ubc.ca. The deadline is January 15th, and the application will be open at the end of September. I highly recommend that you open the application earlier, just so that you can see what we're asking from you, and so that you also know what documents you need to submit when those deadlines are as well. It gives you more time for you to prepare. So once you've completed the application online, you've paid the application fee, you just need to submit all of your documents. It says here by March 15th, but that deadline, because of the global pandemic, can always change. So I highly recommend that you stay connected with us so that we can provide you with more updates as we proceed with the application cycle. So sometimes people ask, okay, so what do I need? So for us, we're really looking at your high school grades. So we recommend that you submit your high school grades from grade 10 or SMA 1, 2, and your first semester of SMA 3. These are the things that we're going to be looking for in terms of your grades, but we will also be looking for faculty-specific requirements. What that means is that if you're applying for the Bachelor of Science, for example, we're going to need to see that you've also completed math, chemistry, and physics. If you're applying for the Bachelor of Arts, for example, maybe we don't have those specific requirements, but you can find all of the admission requirements for all of our programs at u.ubc.ca. So this is a requirement for all of our students. All students must meet our English language admission standard. And most of the ways to do this is through taking a test. So I recommend, if you're thinking about applying to university, it's always a good idea to take an English proficiency test because most universities are going to ask for it. So if you are choosing between IELTS or TOEFL, I think IELTS is probably best for Canada, but of course that's up to you. We will accept both. So if you are planning to take IELTS, then we want to see that you've completed at least a 6.5 in overall, and then a 6.0 in each section. You'll find on our screen here that it says direct entry. This means direct entry into UBC's program in year 1. For TOEFL, the requirement is an overall of 90, and each section has to have either 22 or 21, depending on that section. So what you can see here is that we also have a separate column for pathways. So pathways is our English language pathway programs like UBC Vantage College. So you're not going straight into UBC your first year, but you're going to be taking courses that are going to prepare you for transferring into UBC after that. So it's not going to make your degree too much longer. If anything, it's helpful for you to prepare so that you'll be successful when you finally come to UBC. Right. So I've briefly covered the admission requirements. So we are looking at your academic performance, specifically from your last 2 years of high school. But we also want to see more than that, right? We want to see that you're also getting involved in your extracurricular activities. It's not all about grades, but we want to see who you are as a person and what is important to you. We want to know more about you because that will give us a better understanding of if you are a good fit for UBC. So where you can talk about yourself is the personal profile. Depending on what you're applying for, if you're applying for the Bachelor of Commerce, so that's under the Sauder School of Business, you will be required to submit a video interview. If you're going to be applying for theater, maybe an audition. If you're going to be applying for film, maybe a portfolio. So sometimes the supplemental information is going to depend on the program you apply to. But for most students, you'll have to submit a personal profile. So depending on what you're applying to, if you're taking courses across different subject areas in high school, so you're not just doing science, but you're also doing some social classes, you're learning about other things, we also see that as well. If you're planning to take AP or any of the international courses, then we'll also take a look at that and we'll evaluate that as part of your application too. So for your first year, we always recommend that students live on campus. Of course, this also depends whether or not we're able to come onto campus because of the pandemic, but it is going to be guaranteed if it's possible for your first year. And so we highly recommend that you apply for housing before May. And these are the costs. So for your first year, and make sure that you also understand these are Canadian fees right here, but for your first year, your tuition is going to be about that much, about $57,000, but that includes everything. So from tuition to your accommodation, additional costs like health insurance, food, all of that's included here. So some of you may also be wondering, well, how can I get a scholarship? So we also have scholarships for international students. We have over $30 million for funding to support international students through scholarships, awards, research grants, and so on. So we offer 2 types: entrance awards with an automatic evaluation, and international scholars, which are almost full rides, but they do require an application, a separate application. So this is specifically for students who demonstrate financial need. So if you're not,
sorry, I just want to remind that the time is 7 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, akan saya lanjutkan.
Yeah. So this is basically our scholarships. If you have questions about scholarships, we do have all of that information listed in the description of our UBC profile if you swipe left. So you can learn more about that there. So with the challenge of the COVID-19 global pandemic, know that we're doing our best to ensure that you are also able to submit all of your documents and that you're not going to be affected in terms of the evaluation. So as long as you're doing the best in your courses, we're going to know that you're doing the best as well. So don't worry too much about converting your grades from Indonesia to Canadian grade evaluations. We can do all of that in the admissions office. So to wrap up, at UBC, you're going to find academic excellence, an ideal location, and active learning. These are all the 3 highlights of UBC and the things that I would like for you guys to take away from. So connect with us. I'm going to open up the floor for a Q&A. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But for now, if you have any questions and I didn't get to your question today, you can always connect with us later on, and you can find my email in the UBC profile when you swipe left. So thank you guys so much, and I guess now we can move on into our Q&A.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih banyak, Bu, untuk video dan presentasinya. Wah, video dan presentasinya sangat menarik ya, Bu, dan juga sangat lengkap. Bisa dilihat juga bahwa antusias penonton ini sangat tinggi, Bu. Kita bisa lihat di kolom komentar bahwa responnya sangat positif, dan juga mereka banyak menanyakan pertanyaan. Oleh sebab itu, mari kita lanjut ke sesi tanya-jawab. Baik, Bu, boleh saya bacakan pertanyaannya?
Yep.
Oke. Pertanyaan pertama itu dari Alexander Gaudi. Bu, apakah kita bisa langsung masuk ke UNIF atau harus masuk college dulu ya, Bu?
That's a good question. So if you have really good grades, you can apply direct to UBC, and it will also look at your IELTS or your TOEFL score. So if you meet the requirements for direct admission, you can come straight to UBC. If your grades are a little bit, or your IELTS or TOEFL is a little bit under, then you can go to our college. But we can help you with that process if you have questions.
Okay. The next question is from Benaya Jonathan. Good afternoon, Miss Anindita. I'm Benaya, and I would like to ask if the application fee refundable. Thanks.
That's a good question. So the application fee is non-refundable, but unless there are certain circumstances, you can always contact us, and we'll be happy to help you.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Christopher Kevin. Do I need foundation to enter this university?
Good question. It all depends on your grades. If you have really good grades, if you have a strong personal profile, you don't need foundation.
Oke, baik. Pertanyaan berikutnya dari Ignatius Kresnatan. Kak, apakah lingkungan kampus seperti di UBC akan sangat mendukung pembelajaran kita?
Oh, yes, very much. So our professors are always available to talk to students, and we always have so much support for our students as well. So there's a lot of learning spaces on campus. We have, I think, almost 11 libraries and so many student-run areas on campus too, only for studying. So it is a very good place to go for studying.
Baik, pertanyaan berikutnya dari William Wirohusodo. Hi, I'm William, and I want to ask, do they offer scholarship to go to this university? And if there is one, how can we apply for it? Thank you.
Hi, William. Thank you so much for your question. I think that's a very popular question. So we do have scholarships for international students, but you don't have to submit an application. We have 2 different types, right? We have one that is an application requirement, but this is for students who are either refugees or students who have really, really high significant financial need. So for most students, I don't think that's the case. If you submit an application to UBC and you're admitted, you're automatically going to be looked at for a scholarship or an award. So there's nothing else you need to do, but you can also look at our website to learn more about that.
Baik, terima kasih. Pertanyaan berikutnya dari Imade Sangkia. Miss Anindita, what is the most difficult challenge for studying in Canada? I don't know much about Canada.
That's a good question. The most difficult challenge, I think, is always going to be the first term, is transitioning. And I think that's not just for Canada, but for all universities all over the world. When you first go to university outside of your home country, the hardest thing is going to be the transition. So I highly recommend that you always seek out help from your professors, from your friends, make friends on campus, and that's going to make all of your university experience much easier.
Thank you, Miss. So the next question is from Jefta Amaziabel. Can I have some view on the living costs? Is there any students accommodation on campus? And how much is it if it is off campus? When is the first intake every year? And what is the IELTS or TOEFL minimum score?
Jefta, lots of questions. Very good questions, though. So for the living costs, it always depends on your style. Your lifestyle is going to be different for all students, right? But in general, for us, we recommend students to budget about $15,000 to $16,000 a year. And you can also check our website to see what the estimated costs are, but that includes everything. So your room, your food, your shopping, your entertainment, your phone bill, health insurance, all of that's included. So that's just the living cost if you live on campus. If you live off campus, sometimes you can save money if you have roommates. Sometimes if you want to have your own place, that might be more expensive. So that's really up to you to decide. But you have opportunities to also work as a student too. So you can make some of that money back. So I think the next question was, when is the first intake? The intake is going to be September, and that's September next year. And the applications open the end of this month until January 15. And the IELTS or TOEFL minimal scores are on our website. So I've already talked about it, but you can take a look at our website for more information.
Oke, baik. Wah, ini jika dilihat di kolom komentar, sepertinya penonton semakin tertarik dengan UBC ini. Namun sangat disayangkan karena keterbatasan waktu, kita akan menjawab satu pertanyaan lagi ya, Bu.
Ya.
Yaitu dari Joseph Timmy. Are there any difference between the Vancouver and Okanagan campus?
Yes, that's a really good question. The biggest difference is location, of course, but also size. The Vancouver campus is much bigger than the Okanagan campus in terms of student body. So if you are a person who really likes to thrive in a smaller community, if you're like a big fish in a small pond kind of person, then Okanagan campus would be perfect for you. Vancouver is, very diverse, lots of food options, lots of people. So it's a little bit faster than the Okanagan, but the Okanagan campus is so beautiful and it's very different than probably what you're used to in Jakarta. So I would recommend go with your gut, look at the program you want and see if it's offered on both campuses and then choose from there.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih. Sekarang kita sudah ada di penghujung acara dan saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Ibu Anindita Mahmud. Juga saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada seluruh penonton yang telah menonton sampai saat ini. Dan saya juga mengingatkan, bagi teman-teman yang pertanyaannya belum dijawab, jangan sedih ya, karena setelah ini masih ada virtual booth yang kalian semua bisa kunjungi. Nanti kalian tinggal lontarkan pertanyaan kalian di situ, nanti akan langsung dijawab oleh orang dari UBC. Setelah itu, saya juga ingin mengingatkan bahwa setelah webinar ini, masih banyak sekali webinar yang tentunya tidak kalah asik dengan webinar ini. Dan teman-teman sekalian juga bisa mengecek jadwal webinar ini di aplikasi Canisius EduFair tahun 2020. Dan akhir kata, saya ingin meminta maaf jika ada kata-kata saya yang kurang berkenan di hati Bapak, Ibu, Saudara sekalian. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.